Y'all know TikTok is gone. So I know what y'all thinking. TikTok is back. I just want to preface this video by saying when I recorded it, TikTok was gone. Indeed it was. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. And I just wanted to say that please don't shame me for the amount of times I said like. Please. I'm unmasking. I'm thinking on the go. I'm doing my best. Subscribe to my video. Now let's get to it. Ooh, that was kind of loud. Oh fuck. Okie dokie schmoky. Sup folks, I am in the same room but sort of a different location. I am in my office space, and as you can see, it's a little bit more put together. I got posters on the wall and shit. I got a chair and shit. I got more stuff over there. It's coming together real nice. You feel me? Okay. Anyway, welcome back to another video that is here on my channel. I am G the journalist. If y'all haven't been following, I know it's been a little minute since I posted a video, but we're here and we're back. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, y'all, so today's video is another episode of the G Spot. And it's not what you're thinking. Get your head out the gutter. This is where I talk about my life, things that are happening around me and whatnot. Pretty much this is my platform to talk whatever the fuck I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm back with episode 3, count it, 3 of the G Spot. And so I really wanted to sort of come back with, you know, this new year, new energy type of vibe. And I want to sort of be more vulnerable. Like, I've been pretty vulnerable on my channel, but I want to be a little bit more vulnerable on my channel and sort of give y'all really like the ups and downs, ins and outs of the different things that I've been experiencing. And so like I said, this will be sort of looking at, I guess, like how I've been doing since 2025 has started, as well as like, you know, some different interests and hobbies I've been picking up, you know, updates on where I'm at. But yeah, so just to sort of get into it, to start off, y'all know TikTok is gone. Not saying I was too active up there, but I was trying to get my little, you know, my little one, you know. I would post my video in there, but TikTok is gone, y'all. And so obviously folks got to figure out where the fuck they want to go. And so I had like a rotation of apps. I sort of deactivated my Instagram right before the new year, and so I was, you know, leaning more into using my Twitter. So y'all can follow me on Twitter at baby followed by G. You know what I'm saying? But I was leaning more into like posting on Twitter, which has been somewhat beneficial, as I'll sort of like dive into a little bit later, as that ties into one of my interests that I've been, you know, getting into. But I've been really sort of finding my way, if you will, when it comes to social media, because like I said, I was on TikTok, but it wasn't like super active. But at the same time, it was like, you know, I would post or I would use it, you know, to scroll, whatever, you know, you know how you do. But now that it's gone, I'm really down to like one app, which is Twitter. You know what I mean? I don't call it X, I call it Twitter, because that's what it's called. But yeah, I'm really down to one app, which is Twitter, which is fine. Like, I've been sort of, not say staying away from social media, but I've been trying to find my place on social media. And I think it's more so YouTube that I'm focused on. You know what I mean? So YouTube is sort of like, yeah, I'll have my one on Twitter where I have my intrusive thoughts. You know, I use Twitter as an outlet, to be honest, y'all. But yeah, now that TikTok is gone and things are changing, let's get into my life as of lately. So, y'all, woo, what can I say? Hold on, let me get a sip before I get into this. what can I say, y'all? Um, the journey so far, you know what I mean, has been up and down, but there are like, some highlights when it comes to my whole like self reclamation type of vibe, because that's what pretty much like I wanted 2025 to be like, this whole self reclamation type of energy. Because if we think about it, at least for me, I haven't really been able to sit with myself as far as like, you know, getting to know me and the different interests that I have, and who I am at my core compared to like the outward masks that I've been wearing and all that type of stuff, because your girl has been masking her whole life. Like, at least 15 years of my life has been performance. And I'm just now like breaking that down, if we being honest, like, y'all. But as far as my journey, there's been some, highlights when it comes to like some creative work that I've been doing. Like, I've been finding more interest in writing, because that's sort of like my steez. Like, that's what I do. You know what I mean? But I've been finding like some interest in writing and getting back into poetry as of lately. Well, really like last few months. So maybe like late November to now. You know what I mean? But I've been sort of like really just diving into how, can I get all these intense feelings out, and all the different things that I've been feeling, and I've been leaning into that. Like, poetry has been an outlet, as well as like, therapy and all that other stuff, and I'm still managing, challenges within that. Like I was telling y'all, like, my sense of self is pretty much a big question mark, if I'm just being real. Like, I'm using 2025 to answer whatever that question mark is, because I haven't had a true chance to like sit with myself, as I was alluding to before, when it comes to the different things that I may be interested in, or I may uh just find myself liking. Like, I've always felt like I had to perform and do different things, and so I haven't necessarily been able to sit with myself and figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Some of those challenges, like I said, sense of self, big question mark. Been doing some soul searching, and also I'm looking into how my brain is very much different from the typical, like, I don't want to self-diagnose myself, but at the same time I kind of know that I'm neurodivergent, because my brain, based off like conversations I've had with my therapist, is not normal. Like, I am differently minded. Let's just say that. Moving forward, there is a sprinkle of neurodivergency. Neurodivergency, whichever the correct term may be. There's a sprinkle of that on top of like the mental health challenges that I've been dealing with, as well as like choosing to focus on me this year. Like, just for an example, or story time, mini, whatever. Basically, like, I'm taking this time to focus on myself because of so many, like, for one, like, disappointments I've had last year when it came to like trying to, for instance, find a partner or build relationships, whatever. Like, I'm taking a break from dating based off that, so I can have more time to myself, and I'm not necessarily expending, my energy trying to, I don't know, fuck with people that really, really don't want to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you got shit going. Anyway, but yeah, like, I've just sort of taken that step to really like let me really like sit the fuck down and like really figure this shit out. But yeah, like, that's what today's video is gonna be about. So let's go ahead, get right into it. Y'all can follow me on Twitter because I'm also not on Instagram, y'all. Like, when I tell y'all, I've been really like like, get the fuck, like, let me focus. You know what I'm saying? Let me focus. But yeah, let's get into the rest of this video, where pretty much I want to update y'all on like the different things that I've been looking into to help me sort of find that sense of self, and make this journey worthwhile. Because just as good as like those high moments are, the low moments, woo. Damn. The low moments really be like, don't take me off YouTube for doing that, but the low moments really be like a lot, y'all. Like, I don't know why like I haven't, I guess like explore certain avenues before. I just think it was based off fear. But before we get into like the mental health sort of deep dive and I tell y'all more about that, I want to get into like my recent obsessions or really their hyperfixations, because I have not really deviated from any of this shit. Like it's been hyper focused, like literally on this stuff. And so basically, y'all, I have been really feeding into the interest that I have around anime, because like I'm 24, and so like when I was in like middle school, high school, there was like this lore around people that watch anime, and you gotta be like really tapped in and know da 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 da. Mind you, like my anime been around forever, but that's when I first sort of you know heard about it or really got into the conversation about anime. And so now as an adult, I really been sitting and like watching and trying to figure out like different types of animes that I may like, or how it may help me on my journey. And so y'all, hold on, I'm gonna get my journal out so I can show you. um Before I get into like my shows that I'm watching right now, oh, I gotta tell y'all, I didn't know that anime has sort of all this like depth to it, if you will. Like for instance, there's different, like there's anime like the genre, but there's subgenres of anime that I had no clue about, like none. And so I had put a little like guide in my good old journal, handy dandy, And so I want to show y'all what I learned. And so here is my like God or whatever. And so pretty much I had to write down like the themes or whatever in subgenres that anime had. And so obviously like there's like the most known stuff, which is like shonen or shouju, which is like the male centered, or it's like little boy or young adult male sort of centered animes or whatever. Well, shonen is for men and shouju is for like young girls. And then there's seinen or seinen seinen, 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 which is the young men. So like I would say maybe like 18 or older, young men, And then there's josei. So josei is pretty much the main stuff that I watch. Like it's like adult women, main characters or whatever, this, that, and the third. And then there's like different types of like themes or whatever. And so there's mecha, there's slice of life, and there's, I think it's mahu soju. That's pretty much when you got like a female protagonist, right? And they got like magical powers or whatever. There's also like stuff like yuri, which is like romance between women. Harem, which is like a male protagonist surrounded by female characters. Not 100% sure if it has to be a male protagonist, but based off what I'm assuming, it's a male protagonist surrounded by a bunch of female characters, which I've seen. And then there's like some more adult stuff like eki. I believe that's how you pronounce it, but I could be pronouncing it wrong, y'all. Look, I'm from the South. I'm doing my best. But yeah, eki is like adult stuff, explicit comedy, stuff with sexual overtones. And I've seen some stuff like that, like, animes like that as well. But I'm still getting accustomed to like some of the more explicit stuff. And so I'm like, I guess, easing my way into it, because the more adult stuff can be more mature too. Like there's some mature themes in it. But yeah, that's been like my real sort of like obsession lately, like with anime. And so I have a watch list that I've like got recommendations from folks on Twitter, because I'm in the anime community on Twitter. And I'm new to this shit. I am not true to this shit. Okay, so if there's stuff I'm saying right now and it could be wrong or whatever the case may be, listen, check me out now. I'm new to this, not true to this. But yeah, so recently some animes that like I've been like, I either finished watching or I'm currently watching. One that I like finished watching on Crunchyroll was Ergo Proxy. If you know about that, then you know about that. But yeah, Ergo Proxy was really good. I liked how it was like a female main character, so probably like that soju or josei type of vibe or whatever. um but like it was a female protagonist, lead character, and she was like helping out one of the sort of supporting character slash second main character, because it was centered around these two people. But yeah, that one was really good. I like how it was sort of like end of the world, apocalyptic AI vibes. I'm getting into like the sci-fi shit. It's either like sci-fi, fantasy sorta, or like macabre horror, you know what I mean? Like that's really my shit. Like that's my steez right there. But one that's sort of like out of that realm completely is, look, please don't get on me about the butcher. Hold on, let me see how this pronounced first, because I'm a butcher this shit. Yeah. Kake. I don't want to mispronounce it, but it's Kaki Kakegurui, I think. Kakegurui? I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see it. But listen, the show is good. Like, okay, so pretty much it's based on like this academy where gambling is like the big thing. Like, you come to the school to gamble, pretty much, and like it's based around this female character that comes in. And I really like sort of like the concept, like this school based on gambling, because at first I seen it on Netflix and I was like, I don't know, because I was like, school based on gambling. But then I finally got into it and I was like, I could get behind it. You know what I mean? Like, I like that. Like that. Yeah. But yeah, I like that concept, and I like that had female leads throughout the show, because like the main character is, obviously female. Her name is what's Shawty name? Yukumo Shawty. Her like it's based around like her and like her real like obsession with gambling, because some people get into gambling for the money, some men get into it for different reasons, but her reason is because she's a compulsive gambler, which is like the translation of the word kakegurui. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, that's like the literal translation of it, which is compulsive gambler. And so she's literally a compulsive gambler. She don't give a fuck what the hell is on the line. She's just like, I'm here for the rush. And so I kind of like that, because for me and where I am, I would say in like my mental health journey, it's like helping me with a sort of confidence, because like even though obviously Shawty is a compulsive gambler, it's like she has this confidence regardless, like whatever, like it don't matter who she up against, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck it, I'ma put it down. And then she's like always sort of, I would say she's pushing the envelope even with her friends, because her friends are there for her and understand her, but at the same time it's like she pushed them in a way that's sort of like dangerous to take a risk, so they're not so afraid of taking risk, if that makes sense. And so it's like, for me, I kind of see myself in the main character in a way, because it's like it helps me gain my confidence, but also it's like I do push my friends to take risks, because some of them, I'm not gonna say they're not ambitious, but it's like they get in their head. Even myself, I feel like it's also speaking to like something within me too, to like, take risk, push myself, this, that, and the third. But another one that I recently came across that I'm like still watching right now is called High Rise Invasion. Another situation where it's like josei or shoju, whichever one, because the characters are technically like high school, but it's geared towards like an adult audience, I would say. Yeah, High Rise Invasion is what I'm currently watching. Also has a female lead. Her name is Yuri. And the concept is kind of cool, because it's kind of like Matrix-esque, if you follow what I'm saying. So pretty much like this girl, she like was at school but wakes up in like a completely different realm, timeline, whatever the case may be, and Shawty is like, where the fuck am I? Right? But there's like these masked characters that pretty much force them to commit suicide. So they don't necessarily kill them, but they might torture them to the point where it's like, oh, commit suicide. Like that's the gist of like the show, like main plot of the show. Like these masked characters force people to commit suicide in a way. And that's like a person's last resort. So it's like the mask, and like the mask is being controlled by, somebody else. But Yuri is like, I gotta find my brother, because her brother is also in this fucked up realm. And she like, no, I gotta find my brother. this, that, and the third, right? And so for me, watching this show and like watching the main character sort of on this journey to find her brother, to me it also speaks to like where I am mentally with trying to find that confidence, because regardless of like what she was up against when it came to the mask, or other characters that try to like assault her or do something to her, it was always, for one, she tried to meet them where they were, like, can we just talk about this? But then she turned into like a bad bitch, like, fuck that, I'm gonna shoot you in the face type shit, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like, I can see that, like, she tried to, oh, let's just talk, but then after a while it's like, fuck that talking shit. And I feel like that can be applied to like my life, where it's like maybe sometimes you just need to slow down and like see the situation for what it is, compared to like just feeling so much, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that's helping me in a way, just seeing how different characters handle different situations, and that was good to see in that particular anime. But there's some other ones that I've really been interested in that I need to revisit, because I either like fell asleep or something else caught my attention, because I told y'all like, oh, my brain, it just be all over. But I need to revisit Castlevania. Like, that's one I really do need to visit, because there's another like, I guess, spinoff, I don't know, that is connected to it that I want to watch, and I feel like I need to watch Castlevania first before I get into that one, which is Castlevania Nocturne, I believe. Yeah. And so, yeah, I need to get back into that. And then there's one on Crunchyroll called Crunchyroll. Jesus. But yeah, there's another anime on Crunchyroll called Noir, Noir. I know the accent. Noir. Noir. And that one's on Crunchyroll, and it's about these two characters. I think it's an older anime, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's on Crunchyroll, and I need to revisit it. And then the last one, I kind of fell asleep on it. This one's on Hulu. It's called High School of the Dead, and pretty much like, I'll be honest, this one is pretty like explicit, and like, not saying it's not good, but if you're not really accustomed to watching like more explicit anime or whatever, I don't recommend this one, because it is quite explicit. But also, I'm a newbie, so it's like I need to know what's out there, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm just watching just to learn and also like find good shows to watch. But yeah, I'm just educational purposes. Yeah, I've been really immersing myself in the anime world, trying to like really figure out what it is that I like when it comes to anime. And I think I do like more so female leads. But this is like my watch list. I'll show y'all. This is my watch list of animes that I have that I need to watch. And I've only got a couple of them checked off. So yeah, if you have animes you want me to watch, comment below. Moving on. So, as y'all know or may not know, I'm very much a horror fanatic, and I really love like cult classics and like anything around the world of horror, macabre, gore. Like, I'm really like a gore type of girly, like slasher films and shit. Yeah, that's me, where people just get killed for no reason. Yeah, my name all over it. But I do like stuff that kind of has that gore element but has great storylines. Like, one of my favorite franchises is Saw, because I personally think that storyline, it don't never deviate, and it just get better and better. Like, I don't give a fuck if it got 10 movies. I'm watching all 10 of them hoes. Fuck it. Like, the storyline of Saw is so good. Like, they ate with that one. They did a big one with that one, okay? But yeah, I'm really like getting more and more into like horror again. Like, Twitter has been a good space to sort of have these opinions and ideas and different things like that. And so like recently, one of the horror movies on my watch list that I can show y'all, recently I watched The Lighthouse. Now, The Lighthouse is a Robert Eggers film. He recently did Nosferatu. If you know, you know. Apparently him, this director Robert Eggers, he is really good at period pieces, and I can kind of see that, because The Lighthouse seems like kind of like a period piece in a way, but I don't know. But it was shot really well. It's very like kind of noirish, but also it's shot in black and white. So that kind of adds to this feel of it all. It kind of reminds me of like older films, like kind of like older films back in like the 30s, 20s ish, because there was a lot of black and white filming happening back then. For instance, like Nosferatu came out in 1922. It's a German film, but like it kind of speaks to that older sort of black and white noir feel, like silent movies, but not silent, obviously. But yeah, I really like The Lighthouse based off of the characters were really good. These two male characters, and I feel like it played into sort of psychological horror where it's like you have these old sort of sea, how can I explain it, because it's the lighthouse, so it's like this old sort of like sea captain person. William, what's his name, William Defoe, he plays him, and then buddy from what's his name, damn, I can't think of his name right now, but y'all know who I'm talking about, Buddy from the movies. I think he played Batman, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, he was in it too, and it kind of, you know, speaks to like this old 40s type of vibe as far as like the setting. And then like I really like how it played on like the psychological, where it's like, you know, this old sea captain person or whatever like curses everything, you know what I mean, like everything is cursed, and it like really speaks to like that like mystical element of the sea, if you will. And I really like Lighthouse because of sort of like the ending. For me, the ending was like foreshadowing, but at the same time it left me with questions, because I'm like, what did he see, you know what I mean, like what exactly did he see, like did he see the fact that he was just gonna die anyway, so he just, you know what I mean, like what did he see as far as like the light, because obviously the light was some sort of, how can I say, a metaphor for something sexual, obviously. So it's like, what did he see based on when he went up, when he finally was able to go up and see the light. So that was kind of my ending question. But yeah, that's my recent watch, The Lighthouse. It's from 2019, I think. And I really, really like that because I was left with some questions. But there's some films that are like upcoming that I really want to see. I really want to see Wolfman. Wolfman like recently came out, and I'll probably go see it like later this month. Also, like there's a movie coming out. I think it already came out, and I'm not sure if it's in theaters yet, but it's called Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, and it's supposed to be like, you know, that spin on like child characters becoming like horror villains or like horror characters, because they did it with like Mickey Mouse and they did it with Winnie the Pooh, like, you know what I mean, like they did it with like these sort of parody type shits. Like, what if Mickey Mouse, you know, Mickey the Mouse, what if Mickey Mouse was like a killer, you know what I mean, that type of vibe. And so that's kind of cool over there, so I'm kind of trying to see where that goes, because I saw the Winnie the Pooh joint and that was okay, you know what I mean. But there's some other films like Presents. Apparently it came out last year, but I think it was like an indie film, and so now it got picked up by somebody and it's gonna like come to theaters or whatever. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. The other one is Hard Eyes. Apparently there's some discourse online about like political stuff around this film, but I'm gonna be honest, I just want to watch the movie, bruv. Like, please, like I just want to pay my little $5 at AMC and watch, like that's it, please. But yeah, there's only a couple other ones that I want to see as far as like horror. Well, really just one more. It's called The Monkey, and it's supposed to come out in February, as well as Hard Eyes. Like that one is supposed to be some sort of Valentine's Day, you know, vibe. And then The Monkey, like I said, that one comes out later in February. But those are some horror movies that I'm really like looking forward to see. As far as like what sort of gets me going about why like these particular films, I think like obviously The Wolfman is like a re-adaptation of like the old film. I think it came out in like the 80s or whatever, and so I kind of want to like watch that so I can have a reason to watch like the old film and stuff like that. But another one I'm really looking forward to see is Hard Eyes, because like I said, like when I say I'm in the gore, I don't say that lightly, like blood. So I'm like ready to see how they introduce another sort of serial killer, you know, villain or whatever into like this world of horror, because we have so many like faces and like known villains when it comes to horror that I'm kind of curious how they incorporate a new one, because like who's to say Hard Eyes won't be the next Art the Clown? You know what I mean? Like Art the Clown, he really like got his big one recently. You feel me? So, and I also went to see that too. Terrifier, yeah, sign me up every time. But yeah, those are some of the horror movies that I'm really really getting into. And so thinking about like horror in general, for me, like what connects me to horror is because like I grew up sort of like scared of it obviously, but somewhere along the line that shift happened to where it's become my favorite genre. And I'm not 100% sure when that shift happened, but I did take a class in college that sort of piqued my interest about horror movies, you know, specifically. And so I really was curious about like the tropes associated with it, different ways they shoot them, what it means to, you know, do different things when it comes to like the angles as well as the music, and how it can, you know, really fuck with your head if you don't know these things. You know what I mean? So for me, like, yes, I watch to be entertained, but I also watch because it's like this technical aspect that I'm looking for. But for me, it is kind of rare to see a black final girl. Like, obviously, they have movies where there are, you know, black final girls where it's like, I think it was like a Freddy movie back in the day. They had a black final girl, as well as like Jordan Peele films. You know what I mean? Jordan Peele, he pretty much like caters, not say caters to the black audience, but a lot of his movies are centered around black people. So like Get Out, for instance, it's not a final girl, but you know, a black man as the last character standing, compared to like Us, where it's like, again, black female last character standing. So for me, it's kind of rare to see those black final girls, even though I'm probably like missing some movies, or I'm not looking, you know, in the right places for those types of films. But y'all put me on black final girls. Like, I would like to see that more. Like, black scream queens, would love to see that more. Put me on. But yeah, that's sort of like where I am with my hyperfixations, and it's been a real ride. I really look forward to like exploring more with horror, as well as like, you know, getting more immersed into the films that's coming out, and how I can sort of add that to my mental health journey, as well as like my niche, like for instance content, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a horror girly, so I'm trying to do my big one. As I like move forward, I want to just do a mental health check-in before I let y'all go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to let y'all know just where I am a little bit more like in depth, just to give y'all sort of like a vulnerability type of moment or whatever when it comes to like how I've been doing. Like, I'll be honest, like since late last year, I would say maybe like the second half of last year, I have not been doing well. Just being real, like I had some very much some issues around like seasonal depression, as well as like coping with like a dating experience, multiple dating experiences, as well as like sort of being reminded because of the time of year of a breakup I had in 2023, that like I'm actively, you know, processing and moving forward. Like in this moment, I feel a little better about it. And that's based off like going to therapy consistently, as well as big reveal, I started medication recently for my mood, because my mood would sort of switch very quickly, and like my natural state of being was just sad. Like every day, or at least like 3 times out of the week, 3 to 4 times out the week, I would just wake up and be like, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, I was sad, and it sort of impacted different things when it came to like how I would socialize, or how I chose to like interact with people, as well as like letting go of like habits I had because of like trauma, and how my brain was like, there was imbalances that me and my therapist like discovered that I really needed to like take care of. And so me taking care of that was like the first thing I told myself coming into this year. And it's like, I'm kind of getting emotional, I could feel it. Like me wanting like better for myself was like my goal this year, and that meant like taking the initiative to recognize that my mind is not in its best place. I guess that's the best way I can say it. Like, discovering that, like, there's, possibility of me being neurodivergent. Like, I've always had my worries, and I always felt out of place. Like, that was one thing, like, I would tell my therapist, like, I've always felt different. Like, even outside of the trauma impacts a number of things, but even outside of the trauma, I was like, I always felt different. I always felt like I had this sort of, I don't know how to explain it, but I always just felt apart, like set apart from other people that, like, may have been in my circle, or, like, as a kid growing up, it's like you still sort of that standoffish person because you don't necessarily know where you fit in. And so I always felt different, like, even as a kid, and definitely, like, as an adult, I'm different. Like, the way I handle things is not how the typical person would handle it, and that's just based off experience of interacting with people who are typical. You know what I mean? Especially, like, in a dating sense, typical people are really, like, yeah, okay, scary. I don't know how they maneuvered. Like, they should be the ones called neurodivergent, because I don't know how the fuck them motherfuckers is getting through life without, repercussions and all that. Anyway, I started meds because I really needed something to get me in a little bit more of, like, a balance when it came to my emotions, because, like, they would switch rather quickly, and then, like, I was consistently sad, like, almost every day, and, like, that was, like, my natural state. But when I would feel stuff, it would be so intense. And I'm not saying, like, I don't feel stuff intently anymore. It's just I feel like regulating myself and getting back to, like, that natural or that neutral state is, like, getting easier because of, like, my meds and them stabilizing my mood a little bit more. And, like, I haven't told a bunch of people, like, I'm on medicine, and so now it's on the internet, so woot woot. But I mean, it's fine because it's like some people need different things for, how they want to, not say want to be helped, but how they need to be helped. Some people need different things, and I'm one of those people. Like, I can't just keep raw dogging it. I'm just gonna be honest with you, like, I can't keep raw dogging it, y'all, because I'm telling you, like, raw dogging it would not have me on this earth. Just being 100% real, full transparency. But I didn't get on meds, like, just because, like, my therapist recommended me to talk to, a nurse practitioner to get this process started. So I'm still fresh in the process, but I do think, like, now that I've been sort of taking my meds more consistently, I can start noticing certain things. And so I've also been, like, isolating. So, like, triggers aren't as prevalent. Like, I'm not actively being social or actively looking to engage with people right now. And I think that could also impact why, like, my mood has been, a little bit more stable or whatever, because when it comes to, like, interacting with people or new environments, or for instance, like, when I tried to date last year, that would kind of throw everything. My mood would be all over the place, and I would feel things like, I don't know, it would just be a lot of, like, unhealthy things happening. Not saying, I don't want to say me feeling is not unhealthy, but it would just be some things that I wasn't aware of that I needed to be more aware of, and now I'm more aware of them, and now I'm getting help. Boom. Drops mic. Anyway, but yeah, I've been figuring out, this piece of me, but also, like, I started the video, I've been really, like, trying to dissect and, like, figure out who I am, whatever this is. I've been learning how to unmask and drop the performance, because I genuinely feel like I've been performing my whole life. Like, it's all been a performance. And so now I'm in the space of, like, well, I don't want to do that anymore, because it's not helping me for real, and I want to let go of different things that I'm feeling. And so I think that I need to learn how to stop performing in in the most basic way possible. And so lately I just been, going back inward and, like, chilling, and, like, that's where the isolation comes from, because I just want to really figure this shit out. And so I'm slowly, like, just trying to figure that out and open myself back up to, like, certain things. But right now it's like, this is what I need. which is my isolation, so I can figure some shit out. But soon enough, I probably will be a little bit more social because my therapist suggests like support groups for people that deal with different things like I do. That could be helpful for my journey. But we'll see as time goes on. As far as like my growth and different things, like I said, like isolation has been helping, and journaling, like I journal every day. I try to journal every day. But yeah, journal every day, and then like writing or poetry as I sort of mentioned. But yeah, hopefully like I can share some poetry with y'all in another video because I want that to be like its own thing. I don't want it to be smushed together and all this stuff that I'm talking about. But poetry has been really helpful, as well as like, anime, finding different things to take up my time. I've also been reading. Your girl been reading. Hold on, let me show y'all my book. Here it go, right here. I've been reading this right here, The Haunting by Natasha Preston. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. You got me back into the reading mood, Natasha. But yeah, this book is about like some murders that happened in this small town. What's it called? I can't remember the name of the town. But it's like a small town where everybody know everybody. And there was some murders the year before the book like sort of takes place. And so I've been like reading this, and I'm like kind of over halfway through it, and I like dedicated myself to reading like a chapter a day, even though sometimes like this book be getting good, so you just want to keep reading. And so I'm over halfway. Hopefully like I'll be done with it maybe like by the end of next week for real, because like I said, I read a little bit more than expected when it came to some of these chapters, because it's like, girl, you know how to leave somebody wanting more, okay? You know how to end a chapter, because my ass was like, wait a minute, I can't just end it right here. I got to keep reading. But yeah, y'all, I've been reading this. And then I think like next month is Black History Month. So I'm thinking about, reading something from a Black author. But at the same time, I just bought my first manga. Hold on, let me show y'all. I bought my first manga, which is Demon Slayer. I know it's an anime and everything, but I also bought the manga because I was like, well, might as well give it a try if I'm gonna watch anime. So we gonna see how that works out once I get to this. I might save this for like March, because I do want to like have a Black history situation going on for February. If I read like either a book about Black history or something from a Black author, that would be my contribution. But yeah, right now we are here with the books, and I'm hoping to keep reading, maybe do like 12 books this year, like 1 book a month. That's why I've been doing a chapter a day. So we'll see how that goes. So far, like I've been really just finding out what it is that I like and different things I don't like, as well as like, trying to redefine myself outside of like my achievements and like, those type of things, because that's how I grew up. Like there was this perfectionism, there was like these high standards. Like my dad was really like a dad that was like, you need to, get straight A's, you need to, you know what I mean? Like just be real, like get the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But it was a lot learning that. And so now I'm like unconditioning my brain and taking all the mask off, and like, oh, my brain is different. Okay. We need to fix that. Not say fix it, but like we need to like get you to a place where you can deal with that a little bit better. Because when my therapist first told me that, I was like, what you mean I'm different? But no, different is good. Different is good. Different is good. Especially for what I'm trying to do with my life. This brain is good. So just to sort of, close out my video, y'all, I really enjoyed talking to you guys, and I really enjoyed like being able to like be in my own space and not worry about like different things and like dropping the mask and all that. Like, ooh, like trying not to cry, because I do feel the emotions. But I think like just moving forward, I have like some more personal goals I want to meet. Like I want to do more YouTube videos. I want to be a little bit more consistent with that. I'm also learning that consistency looks different for me than what is, again, typical, because trying to do the same thing every day at the same time is, it's too much. It's overwhelming. It's very overwhelming, but I want to do more YouTube videos. Of course, like more poetry, like I said, reading. But I also want to sort of like get back into gaming, because I sort of took a break from like streaming and playing my Switch, but I think I'm gonna get back into it. I just got a new game, My Sims, you know what I mean? So we're gonna get back into it eventually. But yeah, like obviously I'm gonna keep going to therapy, keep taking my meds, because it's how I need to get better. It's how I want to get better, because I'm choosing, my mental health over a lot of bullshit. Let's just be real. Like 2024 was a year for a bunch of bullshit, and I'm done with that. Like I'm trying to get better, take accountability for a lot of different things. But yeah, like I'm hoping to really explore more anime, horror movies, books, all that good stuff. Like I'm really trying to get in my bag. And so pretty much like to end it here, I am curious about the black characters in anime, because the ones I've watched, obviously I'm new to this, they don't really got no black characters. So that's what I want to end on, because I'm curious what animes have black characters, specifically black female characters, that I can get into, because it would be nice to have that representation and see that reflected, so I can see myself in this genre, you know what I mean, compared to like other things similar with horror. Like we need black final girls more, actually, you know what I mean? So yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed my video. I hope y'all enjoyed my yap session, me talking and all that. I really hope that y'all drop some anime recommendations in the comments, as well as horror movies. It could be anything. Like I'm just, open to seeing what's out there. But if you have, any movies within the early 2000s that y'all enjoyed, I really, that's my steez. Like I really enjoy those. Yeah, that's what I have for y'all. Make sure y'all follow me, I guess, on Twitter, because that's pretty much what we got left, because I'm not on Instagram right now. But y'all follow me on Twitter at baby_G. Also, I have a blog that I'll put in the description, so subscribe to my blog as well, where you can sort of see a written version of my yap sessions, as well as like my poetry and stuff too. Make sure y'all subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my video, and yeah, let me know how y'all feeling about the content, for sure. Check me out in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe, please.